Uh, Good morning, everybody. This is Etienne speaking. I hope you can all hear me. If it's not the case, please use the chat area to send me some message. So we're going to start right now. Just a minute. Okay, so we are here. So thank you for attending this web seminar. We are here to give you feedback about a study we made in the frame of the CESBAMED project about the feeling of inhabitants about their sustainable neighborhood in Lyon. It's a district area in the south part of the Lyon city in the Gerland district. Just a few words in case there are some people that are not part of the CESBAMED project. So the aim of the CESBAMED project is to produce tools to assess the sustainability of neighborhoods. We identified about 200 quantitative indicators and also about 15 key performance indicators. The idea is that every partner select a number of indicators in this general framework of indicators to calculate them. And also every partners in Europe in the partnership will calculate the 16 key performance indicators that are the core group of indicators to be able to compare the sustainability of our neighborhood. These tools are really as a tool to support decision makers when retrofitting, mainly for retrofitting urban area, to support them to choose the best solution to have the best neighborhoods, let's say sustainable neighborhood in their context, depending of their ambition, their finance, etc. And the CESBAMED tools produce at the end a final score. In Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes, we made this test on the district ZAC du Bonlay in Lyon. And we involved mainly the metropolitan area of Lyon and the developer of the neighborhood that is called CERN. When we spoke at the beginning of the project with the developer of the neighborhood, he had some really three main questions that were really interesting in the frame of the project. He said that the metropolitan area of Lyon developed a few years ago some guideline for sustainable neighborhood. It's not really an assessment tool, but saying when you develop a new urban district, you have to follow this and this recommendation, etc. And the developer has to follow all these recommendations. And his question was, okay, I follow all the recommendations developed by the metropolitan area of Lyon in their guidebook about sustainable neighborhoods, but at the end, is my neighborhood really sustainable? That was really the first questions, and that's with the test part on the quantitative indicators on the project. That's what we're going to try to answer him these questions. And also one the biggest question for him was, but I'm doing a sustainable neighborhood, but at the end, are the people living or working there, are they happy to live there? Is it a good thing for them to live in a sustainable neighborhood? And he really needs this feedback from inhabitants. And really to have these feedbacks also for him to improve the next neighborhood, because they are always developing some new areas. So it was for him, for this developer, a way to really to capitalize, to improve the next operations. in Oven and Rhône-Alpes Energy environment, we are working more on energy, and we are not very, let's say, good in feedback from inhabitants. And as in previous project, we worked with, I would say, some expert in this field. We decided to give a study to SCOPE, that is a consultancy in social psychology, to make to organize this feedback. So the idea of this webinar is to present the work that was made by SCOPE and the result we had, that are very, very interesting for us and for the developer. So Hélène Chiron will present the study. Just some short rules for the webinar. But I can see that all of you switch off your microphone. If you have some questions during the presentation, the best way is to use the chat area that you have on the GoToMeeting software. Just says write all the questions you have in English or in French if you want. And at the end of the presentation of Hélène, I will synthesize all these questions, and Hélène will answer. Depending of the number of the people that will participate, I see that there are not so many now, but maybe some other will connect soon. Maybe we'll open the let's say the audio to have your questions really that you can really raise your questions. But if there are too many people, it's better to synthesize all the questions. And one more thing, the webinar will be recorded and available online, so you will get the opportunity to listen to it again, and we can also send you the presentation after. So I will give the floor now to Hélène.
Alors j'ai le son.
Okay, so now you should be able to see the presentation of Hélène. No, Hélène, we don't see anything. Maybe.
Alors. Partager. Non plus. Bon, je vais le mettre directement en présentation. Afficher. Partager. Okay. So this is working. Are you? It's okay. So good morning, everybody. I'm Hélène Chiron. I'm a social psychologist. I worked almost 10 years with the University of Lyon, and most specifically the research group in social psychology, which is why we have a partnership in this study with academy. So my English is not very fluent, but I will try my best to be clear and hope for the support of Grégoire and Etienne if needed. So I will present you today the main results of our project. Just a quick presentation about the context, even if Etienne said a lot already, and to conclude about the main results that we have. We tried in this. Sorry, I have just a little bit technical issue. Okay, so our goal in the study was two main aspects. The first one to understand the comprehensive perspective on the dynamic of the neighborhood, how people live, what was the quality of life in this district, and also to assess perceived environmental performance for inhabitants, to understand if the ecological and sustainable perspective was really clear for inhabitants, and if the amenities was used also. So it's at the beginning a project with the perspective of prospecting future projects and to be able to have indicators for future projects. So this is the ZAC Bonlay. This is a former industrial district, so it's a little bit singular because a lot of restrictions have been existed in the high area. The neighborhood was the district was finished in 2013, following as Etienne said, the Sustainable District Guide. So it's not a real eco district. This is an ecological perspective, sustainable perspective, who leads construction. The study was conducted at the end of 2017 using three main tools: questionnaire, mental map, and commented courses. I can explain it later if necessary. So we interviewed 120 inhabitants, and we have three main questions. The first one was how inhabitants perceive their district. So for that we use a special tool which is called Urban Climate. And the second one was how they live in their flat and building. And the third one was what about the ecological perspective, so perceived environmental performance. So this is where the result will be present. The first one is to talk you about the tool that we use to describe and measure the district dynamics, so the way the perception of the district by the inhabitants, which is a specific tool that we sorry. This is a specific tool that we developed in a research with the municipality of Lyon and university. So it's a previous tool, not just built for this this study, which was constructed in the goal of measures shared perception of the dynamic of a neighborhood. So how people live in a neighborhood, how they assess their environment, when you are living, when you are in your neighborhood, what you are aware about, what you are taking care of, what is important for you. So this is a long work, scientific work from the academy. So first we have identified the different dimensions by which residents evaluate their neighborhood. So what they are thinking, and what are the indicators to measure them, and then we transform this dimension into questions to allow us to measure them in a questionnaire. So just before getting to the result, just a little bit about the method. There are 5 dimensions stabilized and tested in different neighborhoods, measured by 4 or 5 questions. The first dimension is urban integration. So we saw that one of the most important aspects for inhabitants is to be connected to the rest of the city and to also be able to live fully on their district. So the capacity of going out, but also going in, feeling connected, and having a lot of shops and facilities just around the corner. The second one, important for inhabitants, is the social cohesion. Social cohesion is about the quality of the link that we have with our neighbors, but also the fact of feeling close to them. So close is not about the quality of relation, it's more about the perception, are they like me, are they really different? Can we live together? Can we trust can we trust them, etc. The third dimension, which is important, is the comfort and appearance. So it's the way that people feel about the physical dimension of their neighborhood. Is it pretty? Is it nice? Is it clean? Is it calm? Is it something that evolved in the good way? The fourth dimension is identity and social valuation or valorization. So it's the fact that the neighborhood presents a singularity, something that is specific and that you can be proud of. Donc, so it's the fact of living in a positive district that you want to show, that you want to speak about, etc. And 5, this is social tension. So it's a little bit the negative side of the second dimension. It's the fact of feeling observed in your neighborhood, not to be able to do what you want to do. It's about feeling too different from your neighbors, not trust them, and so on. So the 2 and the 5 dimension can be high and or low. This is 2 things separate. So these different dimensions characterize the climate of a neighborhood and also impact the feeling of insecurity. So this is what we saw in the results, that the more you feel great in your neighborhood, the less you will have a feeling of insecurity. So how we measure that, and it's the last one, and after I go to the results. We have 4 or 5 questions by dimension, and we use a 7-point scale to every question. So 1 is not agree at all, and 7 is totally agreed. So, for example, in everyday life, I find everything I need in the neighborhood, agreed, not agreed, and so on. So the singularity of this tool and is that we can have a profile of the district at the end of the study. We agglomerate every question, and we have a score to 1 to 7, who can allow us to to assess the way that people feel in their district. When we have that, we can after go on the details of every question and every dimension. The benefits for this tool is the possibility of comparison in time and in territory. So just to read this profile correctly, the scales is from 1 to 7, and the more height, the higher the score is, the better it is for the district, except for social tension. The lower it is, the best it is. So for the Zach Bonlet, what we saw that urban integration is a real benefit for inhabitants. The inhabitants are really happy about the way they can go on the most important place of the city around us, how they can move with subway, with bike, with car, and that everything is easy to do around the district. The fact that the district is in the city and they don't feel excluded from it. So from my home, it's easy to go in every important place of the city. For example, we have a score at 6 for this question, so very high score. A real appreciation also of the local shops, the possibility of doing your daily life in the neighborhood, buy some bread, go to the grocery store, etc. And a weak feeling of exclusion, as I said. So a real good, a strong point for this district. The second part is comfort and appearance. They are also greatly evaluated. The district is perceived as clean, nice, calm, and very, very practical. And inhabitants are optimistic towards the evolution of the district. So that's a good indicator for us of how they feel about the neighborhood. So there is a great perception. The score of urban integration and comfort are similar to another recent district of Lyon, Confluence, for those who know Lyon. So we have a little bit the same urban integration and the same score for comfort, but unless Confluence, La Zach Bonlet didn't benefit from the same political of valorization. So it's impact the dimension of identity and valorization. This is a district that is more quiet in the newspaper, in the political speech, so the valorization is lower. About identity, inhabitants regret a poor animated neighborhood. So they love the calm aspect, but they regret the absence of public presence, mostly about restaurant, cafe, coffee, and restaurants. Districts appear neither singular or particular. This is something in between for the inhabitants, which is in between two big districts of Lyon and not very specific. But people doesn't want to move when we ask them, so it's a great indicator too, but there is no strong attachment So when we ask them if it will be hard to leave if they had to, most of the time they respond neither. Neither hard, neither easy, just in between. And to finish on the urban climate, regarding social cohesion and social tension, we can observe close core, even if social tension is lower. Neighborhoods perceive neither as a threat nor a support. So there is no reject or crystallization, there is no tension. People are not afraid of going out or see their neighbors, but there is no addition of sense of community, which is also an indicator for us of implication on the ecological part. And just to precise, every dimensions are lower for social housing, for inhabitants of social housing. So this show also how some people are more fragile about the perception. To complete about the uses of outdoor by inhabitants, we also take mental map. So mental map is a tool that when people draw and point on the map their district. And in the questionnaire, we ask them if they had interaction with their neighbors. So few have interaction, only 30%, and it's for most of them is in school between parents, and only salutation, hello and goodbye. In the questionnaire, we ask also what are the places you go to in the neighborhood, and we saw that this is essentially functional. Grocery stores, school, and that the park and the main square aren't mentioned. So despite the fact that they are in the central disposition, people don't really see them or use them. Mental maps of the neighborhood show that there is no avoided places, so it's a good thing. People are not afraid to go out. People don't avoid some streets or places, but there's no favorite places too. So people go out of the district for the favorite places. So what they like is the proximity, but it's not in the neighborhood. And also, there is no strong identity, like we saw. One of the inhabitants said, we don't live at Zac-Bourlet, we live between Gerland, which is on the south, and Jean Massé, which is on the north. So to resume this main result on the urban climate, we saw that there is a strong feeling of connectivity to the rest of the city. There is a great perception of comfort and evolution. There is an identity and valorization, not very strong in between, but maybe also to define in time. There is strong spaces planned on the construction place, park, but they are not really used. Mobility is outside. A link to the district for the inhabitants, which is mainly practical and not with some affect or emotional aspect, and a social link which need to work on to assure that it's evolving in the positive direction. to be able to compare. We have we have a comparison I don't know, with another district of Lyon, which is Barabon, and it's an older district with some building more degraded. So the comfort, as you see on the graphic, is lower. And it's beginning to show fragility about insecurity and tranquility. As I said at the beginning, all the dimensions impact the feeling of insecurity. So if you feel great in your neighborhood, you don't have, you are not afraid. And if there is a problem, a felony in your district, you will treat like an isolated event, and not like a symbol of your district. So what we saw here is that when the district is in between, like a little bit in Bonlay, when the comfort and degradation raise, the feeling of insecurity can raise too, if there is no other dimension to lean on. So the perspective about this tool actually is to be able to map it so that we can compare time and places in a visual dimension, to have also a precise location, and to be able to draw a line if there is on the district. This is standardized measure, so it can be compared easily. Can point strengths and vulnerability of a district, and the possibility of for prospect future neighborhood to anticipate some difficulty. I don't know if there is any question on this part, or if we continue. Okay, so I continue, and I will go on the satisfaction and comfort toward housing and building. So not on the district, most of the housing and building. So what we saw in the questionnaire is that the housing is very satisfying. For this question, we have a scale from 1 to 5, but as you see in the green are the positive answer. So it's housing is described as a nice, beautiful, clean, practical, calm. Less calm, but it's always like that in a city. Housing described as cocoon for the inhabitants that we met, that we interviewed directly, and a low intention to change of housing. The people who want to move is people who want to leave the city, or for a reason of size of the flat or something like that. For the impact of amenities, we saw that external noises are not a problem for 16% of the inhabitants. Ventilation is great for most of the respondents. And what we saw that we found interesting is that the fact that there is a meliorative perception. For most of the respondents, there is a better perception than previous housing, mainly for natural lighting and general quality. It's for 60, it's better. For 21, it's also at least the same. c'est mieux ou c'est pas mieux? Tu veux qu'on échange?
Am I the only one who has got an issue with the sound for the last seconds? Is it just me, or was it difficult for you also to hear?
Also for us, it's really difficult to hear. The sound is not so good.
Okay, and when I speak, is it okay for you, Elena?
Perfect.
Okay, so I think Elena will just try to change her micro.
Are you
Now
hearing
it's better.
me? Yes,
Yeah,
it's better?
Yes,
Yes.
much better.
Okay, so I change the cask. Okay, so what we have, and it's important for the constructor, is the fact that there is this meliorative perception of the housing, but we saw also that the thermal comfort divides inhabitants. Part of them are satisfied, but almost 40% of them think that they have to eat up a lot, which was a surprise for us in sustainable housing. Like I said before, in social housing, satisfaction is lower for every item. So it's not only for the district, it's also for the housing. If we look at the satisfaction towards building, it's less important for building than housing, but it's also very satisfying. The practical and calm aspect are the most consensual items, and there is important problems of cleanliness in social buildings. We also saw the satisfaction around semi-private places. Access to buildings are perceived as functional, maintained, secured. Outdoor spaces rather satisfactory on the scales from 1 to 5, but 27% in the intermediate position. So what does that mean? When we look at the commentary, we saw that the comments, it's mainly about the impossibility of accessing this outdoor, the absence of benches. This is too small without vegetation, so it's very complex use for inhabitants, and they ask what's the point of this outdoors if there's no use for them for it. And buildings are constructed with an outdoor, but most of the time it's like on the picture. This is mostly agreement. It's not. It's only for the eyes. And a lot of our results was about the perceived environmental performances and practices. So we thought for the part of environmental attitude, we interviewed inhabitants by what we call commented courses. So it's a tool to follow inhabitants in their daily life. So you go with people in their flats, and you follow them, and they have to comment what they are doing. So you are in the kitchen. Okay, I take my trash. I go out. I go to the the bin, but it's complicated because I have my child with me or something like that. We only made 10 commented courses, interviews like that, because it's very long and complicated for the inhabitants. But it was interesting because you have a very specific and detailed point of view, and you go really on in the uses and practices of daily life. So what we saw is, for example, the problem of kitchen and aeration. So the kitchen are mostly open kitchen, even in this case in social housing. So we have a lot of difficulty with ventilation. The inhabitants have difficulty with ventilation. So they have odor in the bedroom, so they open the window, so they feel cold, and so they're raising heater. So typically this kind of example can show how an amenities and equipment can impact the sustainable and ecological effort in the neighborhood. We also saw that respondents declare sorting waste for 80% of them on the daily life or most of the time. But observation showed mostly in the social housing, dark storage, heavy doors, inadequate lighting, and as you see on the picture, the fact that amenities are not always efficient to encourage to facilitate good practices. So as you saw on picture from social housing, it's not only about who lived in the building, it's also about what we propose and offer to facilitate or not the good practices. As we saw also, and it's a specific result, but that we consider very important. It's so you have here two pictures. One on the left is from a back storage. On the right, also a back storage in the same residence. So it's also social housing, but with two buildings separate. And what we saw here is the fact that space is going to suggest, facilitate uses. On your left, you have a place which is in the basement, not with no paint on the wall, with a cold lighting, and on the right you have a place which is on the main floor, just next to the elevator, with paint on the wall and a little bit more lighting. It's the same population in the two buildings, the same social difficulty, but in one you have a clear misuse of the place, and in the other you have a limited misuse of the place with this TV. So two remarks about that. The first one is a degraded space, facilitates misuse. So it's a little bit like the broken window effect. The more we degraded a place, the more degradation there will be. And the second point is, what is the need behind? There is no how to say that, there is no willingness from the inhabitant to degrade their place daily life. They use spaces in misuse. They misuse, places, but there is a need behind that. So what is a need here? Maybe they need a place to store. Maybe they need something to throw up more big trash, etc. So we have to think about that and not to wait for people to follow what we considered for them. And to end with this this part, ecological equipment which existed on the district are not known by inhabitants. When we ask them if there was an equipment in housing, building, or district which was functioning with recycling energy or prevent wasting energy, most of them doesn't know. And when they do, they respond to a lot of different things, not necessarily real, except for the LED lights. So I don't know how to translate or if it needs translation, but only for the lower consumption light. So it's interesting for us because it's so also how the equipment amenities are not visible and clear for inhabitants. And it's also prevent appropriation or capacity of knowledge. So to conclude, we can see that the housing are very positive. There is a real perception of cocoon, of protection, of comfort and improvement, except for the heating installation. For the building, there is a need to enhance places and ecological practice by the colors, by the architecture, by the facilities. A particular attention is needed for the social housing to value places, to value practices. This is particularly important because this is a population which with a specific link to the house they lived in. And for the district, a urban integration that is successful, a comfort perceived by the inhabitants, weak place identity, a weak attachment and social relationship, but not negative. A use of the district mostly practical and without strong affect, no strong places, nor participation of the inhabitants. So the risk for us, in our point of view, if the social and place identity doesn't increase, is a risk of withdrawal from the neighborhood to overinvest housing. This kind of process can draw attention to degradation and attention to only the negative aspect of the presence of others, only as something, a problem, and not a benefit. A weak territorial responsibility also equals low environmental care. That has been proved in scientific research. The more that we are involved in our territory, close territory, the more we can take care of it. If the perceived comfort decrease with time and erosion of the building, for example. There is not a lot of other dimension to counterbalance, and this may induce long-term departure from the neighborhood or risk of forced housing. For the sustainable and ecological part, despite positive attitudes, there is low practices in the reality. There is a low visibility of installation and innovation, and there is no perceived pro-environmental standards. So in social psychology, we talk about the heaviness of norms and social norms. If you know that you evolve in a pro-social, pro-environmental environment, you are willing to pay more attention to it. For this project, it seems important for us to include the behavioral dimension in the construction by, for example, included nudge in the beginning. Also, as we discussed already with Etienne and Grégoire, it's to value this installation. Why the local trash local is hidden? Why is it not attractive? Why the elevator is in front entrance and the stairs at the bottom of the entry, and no paint, no light, really warm. It's a little of a million of little things that will impact and facilitate behaviors. What you saw here, it's way to draw attention to trash can and possibility of waste sorting. And it's have been tested, so it's not just good intention. It's some of example who worked to ameliorate, to enhance practices. And also include a social dimension by promoting participation and uses when people arrived. So it's more about thinking about a social coffee and not only a place, a main square. It's also thinking about mobile urban furniture and not only a park for child. It's to go after the conception of space to ask the question of use in the daily life. I have two more slides about replication and the possibility of going on other territories and country maybe. So the first one is to define purpose of the study, to define methodology. So what I explained very briefly on our methodology is that it's the fact that we have 3 tools here, but they don't have the same purpose. Commenting courses or routes, sorry, are very specific analysis of practices and representation. They had a low spectrum, but a precise analysis. So they are mainly used for understand in a precise way the daily life. Mental map is for understand uses and representation of places. So there is a moderate spectrum, but only on one dimension, here, district. And the questionnaire allow us to have some results on uses, representation, perception, satisfaction. So a broad spectrum, but also reducing complexity. So you have to be very careful when you analyze results to be sure to maintain a dynamic perception and not only one isolated question. This is a French study. This is a French tool. So can the tool adapt to different social contexts? It is the same in a context of economical crisis, more stronger than in France. It is the same in the north, the south. We are not sure of that, even if some of the question that we used was from international literature. So we know that they are that can be translated. Different tools for results. Interesting to compare between them. So it's need also knowledge in methodology and theoretical field used. And ideally, like every scientific study, a validation need to be done for adjusting to local context and expression. So the first translation and also to be sure that all the indicators evolve in the same way. That's all for today. Thanks for your attention and for the invitation.
Okay, thank you, Elena, for this presentation. I don't know, maybe if you have some questions, Emanuela and the Italian team. Maybe you can, as we are not so many participants, you can switch on your micro and ask and raise your question if you have some. Just that from our part in Auvergne Rhône-Alpes Energy, we are going to organize a meeting with first with the Metropole of Lyon and the developer to present these results and also the result about the calculation of quantitative indicators, because I think it's very complementary to have these both indication about the sustainability and the perception of inhabitants. So we're going to present them this result as a kind of final deliverable in January or February. We don't know. That's the problem. We don't know what they are going to do with it. If they really want to use it for improving their next neighborhood, if this kind of approach can be made in other districts, I think that could be interesting. But it has a price, so now they have to be committed to this. We also want to give a feedback to the inhabitants, and maybe what we maybe made a little mistake is that when we organized this questionnaire and this study, it was like 10 months ago. We did not tell the inhabitants that the developer of the city will improve the neighborhood with the answer they made. So we want to be careful about how we're going to deliver these results, not to create frustrations with the inhabitants. And maybe the next time we organize this kind of study, we have really to be clear with the inhabitants on what are the possibility of improving or not improving the neighborhood after. Our goal is also to improve the work of the developer and of the recommendation and the tool that is currently used by the metropolitan area of Lyon. Do you have any question? Maybe I've seen your question. Maybe you can switch on your microphone and ask directly this question, as we are not so many participants, so it will be a bit more comfortable for everybody. Emanuela said, can we use this survey in the SESBAMED project? What do you mean? What would you need, Emanuela?
One moment. I am
okay. We can hear you.
This questionnaire, I asked for this questionnaire that you use in this presentation.
Yes, we can provide you the questionnaire. I think it's not a problem. Hélène, for you, it's not a problem to provide the questionnaire. The problem is more in using the result of the questionnaire. You have to be quite, let's say, good in terms of statistical, etc. It's not the problem of the question. It's more the problem of using the result and make this questionnaire speaking. Hélène, maybe you want to add something?
No, it's just what you said, Etienne. It's about the way that you interpret the results, but it's not the questionnaire. The questionnaire can be sent. No problem.
Okay. As we know that you speak a very good French, Emanuela, maybe we're going to send you in French. Okay?
Oh, parfait. Oui. It's okay for me, yes.
It will save us time to translate.
Maybe it's more complex.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe in Italy you have such I don't know, experts in social psychology.
First of all, thank you for this very interesting activity. And how long was the overall process? So from the calculation, from the collection of data until the analysis of the result?
We started on the first meeting that we had to talk about the project was on September last year. We started to begin the questionnaire and the mental map in November or December last year, and we present the first result in March or April, maybe.
So yeah, it was about 2 months. We used some students to make the questionnaire and the mental maps in the district. It was, I think, in December and January to reach a good number of answers. So we had about 120 answers. So that's not. It's quite good. About like 1,500 inhabitants in the total district. And after it took about like I don't know 2-3 months of analyzing the results for Hélène and Nicolas, and we had the results. We presented this first draft of results in our SESBA local committee. I think it was beginning of April.
Okay, thank you. And so, do you have done the interview individually with each of the 120 person, or there were also collective moment for the exchange of information?
So there were not. The questionnaire is only individual, mental map and commented courses also, because we don't have collective association or group of inhabitants for the Zach Bondet. And we had difficulties to meet people, so we started on the public space, and we end by doing doors-to-doors questionnaire, because it was winter and as I said in the study, there is not a lot of uses of outdoors, so it was not very simple.
Okay, that's all for me, and thank you, Hélène. Very good work.
Thanks to you.
Thanks so much. Merci beaucoup.
Okay, so
Merci.
thank you. We will put we will send you the questionnaire at least in French, but you can use a kind of Google translation to have it in Italian. And the webinar will be available if you want to have the
Etienne, we don't hear you anymore.
would
Also.
be
Okay. So I think Etienne, we don't hear you, Etienne, anymore. Nope, nope, still not good. Anyway, thank you everyone. Don't forget to send us your local activity report, which has got nothing to do with the current presentation, but we still need it. And Etienne, still no possibility to use your micro. Okay, so I think I'll be in charge of saying goodbye. Do you hear me, or maybe it's just an issue with me?
Very good. Very well.
Okay, so it's not just an issue with me. So I guess thank you everyone, and we will send you the document by email. Have a nice, how do you say that in English? Have a nice, happy
Christmas Day
to every one of you. And well, see you soon.
Okay.
Thank you to all.
Thank you, and thank you, Hélène, of course, for the presentation.
Bye, Grégoire.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Elena.